Hey guys, it's Just a Ginger back with another video. In today's challenge, we're going to see if we can beat Pokemon Emerald with Monostage Pokemon only. With Pokemon Emerald having 26 different Monostage encounters, I decided to make this video a little different. After every gym, we can catch one Pokemon, no more, no less. The rules for this hardcore Nuzlocke goes as follows. Any Pokemon that faints is considered dead and can no longer be used again. I have to nickname my Pokemon in order to bond with them. I'm playing in set mode and no healing items inside a battle. Held items are fine. Okay, so we start up the save file. For whatever reason, Professor Birch has a Charizard, which I think was just a little issue with the Pokemon random generator tool, because I decided I wanted to switch my starter to a Zangoose because we didn't get one last time and I was pretty sour about it. So we get the Zangoose and I nickname it Scratch because that was my dead dog's name, and I thought that was pretty interesting. And then we go and we fight May and we absolutely whoop her. It's like not even a competition, or Torchic doesn't even stand a chance. After that we get the Pokédex and we have no trouble getting to Roxanne with our Zangoose. The level cap's at 15, so Zangoose actually learned Swords Dance, which is amazing because it sharply raises our attack. So we do 3 of those. The Geodude drops our speed by 3. We miss a Fury Cutter. We land the second one, and then we land the third one to take out the first Geodude, which powered up Fury Cutter for us to take out the second one. And then we locked down Nosepass, used Harden, and we were able to take out Nosepass in one hit. After that, we had to go save Pico and retrieve the Devon Goods from the Team Aqua Grunt. So it's no challenge whatsoever. Our Zangoose is 4 levels above, and 2 Fury Cutters takes it out. After we get the Devon Goods, Mr. Briny says we can use his boat, so that's perfect. Then we fight May, and May again does not stand a chance with our Swords Dance combo, which continues to be a pattern throughout this video, you'll see. So we use Swords Dance once, and then we use Swords Dance again, and then we use a Fury Cutter to get Lotad into the yellow, and then one more to kill it. Then Torchic goes down and another 2 Fury Cutters. After that, we go to Granite Cave and get our second encounter of the run. We find a Sableye and we damage it a little with Fury Cutter. I'm trying to make sure I don't kill it. Then we get a Great Ball and we catch it, and I decide to name this Sableye Casper because it's Ghost type, even though it looks nothing like Casper whatsoever. Only because it's part Ghost type, and I couldn't think of a better name. And honestly, this Casper is going to be amazing for the second gym, as fighting types cannot touch Ghost types, so this is the perfect encounter to get right here. But as we go through Granite Cave, we find Steven, hand him the letter, and he gives us Steel Wing, which is gonna be sort of helpful later down the line. We talk to Brawly and he's ready to fight, so we go in with Casper and we just use a bunch of Leers and then use Nightshade to take out the first Machop. After we take out the first Machop, Meditite comes out, we beat it pretty easily. Then Makahita starts using Bulk Ups, but it is no worry for Casper as a couple more Nightshades take it down, even with Brawly using a Super Potion. And then we get the second badge. After that, we talk to Captain Stern and give him the boat parts or whatever. And then a couple Aqua Guns come up to us and try to beat us up, but Scratch is too good for them and just destroys them. We hand over the goods, and then after that, we get our third encounter, a Minun, on Route 110. And we nicknamed the Minun Subscribe because I think this would just be a good reminder for everyone watching to just go subscribe, leave a comment, leave a like. You know the gist, just go for it, you know. We could use a couple more subscribers. But after we get subscribed, then we fight the hardest fight, they say, in this game against May. But with subscribe, a couple Sparks takes down Lombre and Wingull, so it was pretty good. We also get the Paralysis on Lombre, take it down, and then Combuskin, we hit it with a Thunder Wave. Then we hit it with Spark, takes it to the yellow. We get low with subscribe, so I say we'll switch out to Scratch. We get the Paralysis Lock and take down Combuskin. After the fight, we get the item finder from May and prepare for our fight against Watson, who we have a very specific strategy for. We use Fake Out to get the flinch or some quick damage, then we use Rock Tomb to take it out, then we switch to Subscribe, who hits it with a Thunder Whip to paralyze it because we're going to need that luck. Then we start to hit it with a bunch of growls as it just howls, which counteracts everything we're doing. So then I switch into Scratch to start setting up with some sword dances. And honestly, you know the drill with Scratch, it is just an absolute beast. We're going to have 1 sword dance, 2 sword dances, and 3 sword dances just to be safe. Then we hit a Fury Cutter, which does decent damage. Second Fury Cutter takes out the Manectric, and then 2 more Fury Cutters takes down Magneton, and then his final Pokemon goes down with 1 Fury Cutter, so pretty easy wipe there. And Scratch tries to learn Pursuit, but we don't need it, we just don't learn it, it's not necessary. And we get the Dynamo badge. After that, we go to Route 114 to get our next encounter. As we're searching through the grass, maybe you can guess what it is. It's not a Lombre for sure, but it is a very special snake named Survivor. So we catch the Survivor, we paralyze it first just so we have a better chance of catching it. Getting low on Pokeballs with only 7. It's the Fang Snake Pokemon. So I'm actually gonna name it Fuego because that is my teacher's snake name. I thought that was pretty fun. So Fuego the Survivor. That was a pretty cool catch there. Although sadly it won't last long, but we'll get to that. Yeah, we have a couple losses in this run, but you know what? Just have to watch the video, see who we lose, or if we win. So then we fight Maxie, and it is just an absolute beatdown with Scratch, as we just use Sword Dance and Slash. Madiana does get the Intimidate ability off us, but a couple more Sword Dances boost our attack. Then we use Slash to take down Madiana, Zubat, and Camera Up all in one hit. Absolute wipe there. Up next is Flannery, and Fuego recently just learned Dig, which is the perfect move for this battle. So we go for a Dig. Fuego takes a hard hit. Go for another Dig to see if we can get it. Luckily, the Numel misses its attack. One more Dig takes out the Numel. Fuego gets up to level 28, learns Crunch, gets rid of Bite for it. We use Dig on the Slugma, takes it out in one hit. Camera Up. We go for another Dig, and we're playing it risky. We go for another Dig, and we take up the Camera Up. Up next is Torkoal. We've already wiped out 3 Pokemon, but sadly, Fuego does go down to the Torkoal, who I send out Subscribe for, and I decide my best bet is to just hope I can survive this, and I don't. So we lost 2 Pokemon in 1 gym fight. Kind of tough. We send out Scratch next to go for the classic Swords Dance Slash strategy, which luckily takes out the Torkoal, even though it was pretty close with the Attract and the Paralysis, but we pulled through in the end. And we got the Heat Badge. After the fight with Flannery, she gives us the TM for Overheat, and we head to our next encounter on Route 113, where we find a Skarmory, which we get into the yellow with Fury Cutter and catch and name Cloud. You might say, why did you name it Cloud? Because I am running out of names for Pokemon, so I literally just make stuff up at this point. So that was the plan for that. So we get Cloud, we train it up, then we go right to Norman, who we do a Rock Smash with Casper strategy. It sort of works, but then they start using Yawn, which puts our Pokemon to sleep. We had a lot of close calls. Scratch got on 3 HP. But pulled through. Then we went to the Weather Institute and took down the Mighty Anna with some air cutters, and there we go. We got a cast form, but I decided to not use it for my next encounter as we've already used a cast form before and it's really not that great. So we named the cast form Bruh because we have no use for it. After getting the cast form, we actually have another fight with May, and luckily our Skarmory can just wipe their team with a couple air cutters. The Pelipper does continue to use Protect, but honestly we just push through and break through Confusion a couple times and take down their team pretty easily. We didn't really have any issues. May's team is mostly weak to flying type, so it was a quick wipe with Cloud. May does give us a HM for Fly though, which is pretty nice. After that, we decide to get our next encounter for beating Flannery, Norman. Whoops. And we find an Absol who we catch and name Goose, because one day I want to have a giant dog and name it Goose. And Absol's kind of like a giant dog, so thought it worked out pretty well. And so for our next gym, I was really thinking of some strategies because none of my Pokemon were going to be able to wipe Winona's team as well as I hoped. So I decided to teach Facade to Goose, which turned out pretty good, as I believe it's 70 power, and that was able to wipe out Winona's team. Level cap was 33, and you know what? It worked out pretty well. And we're even able to take the Skarmory out in 2 hits, as well as the Altaria in 1 hit. So it worked out pretty great. And we got the 6th badge. So we're doing pretty great in this challenge. After Winona, we go to get our 5th encounter, or 5th team member currently, a Tropius. So another flying type, but the grass type is going to come in help for our next 2 gyms. The Psychic and Water type gyms. So Tropius is going to be a key member. And you know what? I don't know why, but I decided to call Tropius Gru from Despicable Me just because I thought it would be funny. So there is my naming convention for Tropius. It doesn't even look like Gru. Maybe its long neck was kind of like its nose. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. So we name it Gru. And after that, I go to Mount Pyre to get the orb that the Team Aqua Grunt stole. Or I guess Archie stole. It wasn't just a grunt. But level cap's now 42. Having no issues getting through their team with Casser just wiping through. We've got a double battle right here, and there's no issues. I've got a lot of faith in this team I've got going so far. Monostage Pokemon are pretty strong on their own, as they don't have an evolution, so their stats are all pretty high, and they're all usable on their own. I'd say in my regular playthroughs of Pokemon, I don't usually use Monostage, as I like to see my Pokemon evolve. But, you know, through this challenge, I guess I've realized the potential that these Pokemon have in competitive play, especially with their Swords Dance strategies, as Swords Dance pretty much does most of the work here. So after we get the orb, we have another fight with Maxie, who's awakening Groudon, and it's nothing too much. We just use Swords Dance again. You know how it goes. We do get confused. Slash pulls through though. We get confused. Slash pulls through again. We use another Swords Dance. We snap out of confusion. Take out the Crobat. Camera ups up, and we take it down with 1 slash. So yeah, Swords Dance is a little overpowered for this challenge. But then we have a fight with May at the Department Center in Lily Cove. Honestly, you kind of know the strategy here. We're going for another Swords Dance setup. So we hit 2 Swords Dance and then start slashing through everything. We level up and try to learn Taunt. We don't really need Taunt though. But Pelipper tries to protect, doesn't work. And we just slash through everything. After that, we've got the 7th gym with Tate and Liza, level cap 42. And here's the strategy for this fight. I taught Absol Sunny Day, so it's fast enough to use Sunny Day. Tropius then has Solar Beam powered in one move. It Solar Beams the Rock type Pokemon, while Absol uses Bite on the Psychic types because it's super effective, and that's the strategy there. Solar Beam takes out Solrock in one hit. Bite does half to Lunatone, as Solrock is able to get killed with one Solar Beam. After that, we do get the Mind Badge, and we decide to go fishing for our 6th member, which will eventually get switched out, as we can get one more encounter after the 8th gym. And we find a Corsola fishing on Route 128. And honestly, this Corsola, I thought I was going to have more use for, but it's rock water, and we can get a way better rock water type that has way better stats later down the line, which is what I'll end up using, but I'll keep a little surprise. So we catch the Corsola with a netball, and we name it Boy, because technically I guess it's a girl Corsola, but like boy. Literally, what the heck. We didn't use that as much as I thought. After that, we go fight Archie, and he's trying to awaken Kyogre. Here we just go for a fly strat, because I'm kind of tired of using Swords Dance and Slash. But you know what? Our team is so weak, especially Corsola, that we just had to switch out and go for a Swords Dance Slash strategy with Scratch and then 2 Goose, which Goose does perfectly, completely wipes out. Level cap is raised to level 46, but after we beat Archie and he awakens Kyogre, we have to continue the story, and Archie and Max are talking it out, and they realize, oh no, this is kind of an issue that we've started a land versus water war. So I struggle to fly to Satopolis City as we see Groudon and Kyogre start to fight it out. I heal at the Pokemon Center, which I kind of just surf right by, and Kyogre and Groudon don't have an issue with that. Steven takes us to the Cave of Origin, and Wallace tells us a secret, that there's a 3rd magical Pokemon that can save the day, and that Pokemon is in one of 3 areas, the Sky Pillar, of course. So I go all the way there, say hi to Rayquaza. Rayquaza then flies all the way to Satopolis. I struggle to get to Satopolis again with my flying Tropius. And then when we finally get there, we see Rayquaza's coming down from the heavens and saying, stop. And then basically those two just stop it. And the weather's all cleared, everything's perfect and sunny, everything's great. So then I talked to Archie and Maxie, and they basically just apologize, which is well deserved. They're kind of in the wrong. And we get the HM for Waterfall then, which is going to be useful to get to the Elite Four and Victory Road. But for the 8th gym, we literally just have a Swords Dance Slash strategy. There is not much to it. The game gets so much easier when you raise your stats. And honestly, I feel like we could have beat that gym leader with Goose alone, or Scratch alone, or any of these Pokemon. Tropius probably could have done it. But we catch our final member to switch out Corsola because Corsola is trash. And we get Relicanth, which I name Old Fish respectfully, as it is basically, it's a fossil Pokemon, but somehow it's not a fossil. It doesn't have a fossil, but it's like 3,000 years old, and in the anime, you know, they had an episode all about how it's old, and it's a relic, almost like it's a relic camp. Something like that. So we get our Pokemon and we train them up, and then we have Wally on Victory Road, and you know the strategy. We're Swords dancing with Goose. Goose takes Altaria down in 1, Delcatty down in 1, Magneton down in 1, no surprise, Rosalia down in 1, and Gardevoir uses Double Team, which actually makes us miss, and we go for it again, and we get it. So Swords Dance slash just completely wiped with Ollie's team. No surprise there. After that, we have the first Elite Four member, Sydney. And here's the strategy. We're going for a bunch of sand attacks just so we can switch into Scratch, who uses 2 or 3 Swords Dance, uses a bunch of Fury Cutters, and just pushes through with Fury Cutter. And we're faster than every Pokemon, and we literally survived that battle on 24 health. And then we have Phoebe, the second Elite Four member, Ghost type user. Now I really have to switch up my strategy as the slash strategy won't work, but luckily Goose is Dark type and has access to Bite, and we got Calm Mind from the gym leader, the 7th gym leader, so we go for a Calm Mind strategy and Bite, and we just bite through her entire team. Again, no issues whatsoever. Once you have these stat racing moves, the battles just become increasingly easier. Third up is Glacia, and we have actually sort of an issue because Ice type's pretty resistant, but once you start using Swords Dance, Slash just takes everything down in one hit, including the Wall Rain. I do think I got a couple critical hits along the way. Up next is Drake, who I was probably most afraid of, more afraid than Steven, but I go for a bunch of sand attacks so I can switch into Goose. We do set up spikes as well, so when they switch in they take a little damage, but Goose starts using 6 Calm Mind, so it has max special attack and special defense. We then go for an Ice Beam, takes it down. Alteria's down with an Ice Beam. Kingdra's down with an Ice Beam. Flygon down with an Ice Beam. And Salamence missed its move, allowing us to hit an Ice Beam. That was some pretty good luck, I'm not gonna lie. Finally up is champion Wallace. Gosh, I always want to say Steven, but Steven's no longer the champion. And it takes out our Skarmory in one hit. And then we go for a Swords Dance slash strategy, which takes out its Wailord, its Tentacruel, its Ludicolo, and it doesn't take out its Wishcash in one hit, but it continues to use full restores. Then we get a critical hit. Then up next is Gyarados. Gyarados barely survives, takes out Scratch. I then send in Old Fish to use Ancient Powers, and the Ancient Powers gets a crit and takes out Gyarados. Up next is Melodic, its last Pokemon, and Old Fish survives on 1 health, and we've got to say goodbye to Old Fish as we send in Casper. I'm thinking Casper can maybe do this. We hit it with Fake Out, does nothing. I thought it was going to do way more damage, kind of let us down. Pretty sad. Next we send in Gru, and I forget Melodic has Ice Beam, so it goes down in 1. I'm thinking we've got 1 Pokemon left, Goose. And we go with the classic Slash to finish the run. So there we go. We are the new champion of Hoenn, and honestly, if I'm giving myself a little reflection on this run, I would just say don't underestimate Monostage Pokemon. Although there might be some weaker ones like Corsola, there are plenty of hard-hitting single-stage Pokemon out there. And may I just add that the end credits for Pokemon Emerald are just beautiful. I like to see all the Pokemon that you captured along the way. But yeah, basically, don't underestimate Monostage Pokemon. They're way better than some fully evolved Pokemon even, especially with these setup moves. Swords Dance carried me all the way. But you know, it's the end of the video. So make sure you guys go subscribe and leave a comment. Leave as many comments as you want. Just spam the comment section, and I'll try to have a video up in the next 2 weeks again. Have a good day, and thank you for watching.